You need to come out slightly, I think. So, strong pair of hands, or even a file. Sorry, not a file. Hacksaw. Yeah, you can even fatigue it off. You can then cut your noughts and cross. A little bit of fatigue, bending something repeatedly, it's called fatigue, or the definition of fatigue. There's your noughts and cross, so you could make, I don't know, 4 of those and you've got your noughts and cross set. Is it 4 or 5? Something like that, for a set. Any scrap, just put in your, ready for the next meltdown.
Meltdown.
The next meltdown, yeah.
Well, of course you don't want to melt down your shed.
I think what I'll do, I'll get a bigger piece of wood for next time. But Jake, if you just scan through the equipment, there's the equipment. Again, this is something you have to do with an adult, a responsible adult at that as well.
Instead of using one of these propane or butane heat guns, or
one of these.
You can use one of these heat guns, electric.
800 watt.
1800, I think.
Sorry, 1800, yeah. 240 volt.
But if you put your hand in the front of both of them, you're gonna burn yourself pretty badly. So just be aware
this is the,
that it can burn you very easily.
You can wear on your body.
Very stylish.
And then have some decent shoes on, not trainers like I'm wearing, and some decent gloves. Okay, leather gloves, not rubber gloves, leather gloves. Brilliant. Okay, well done, shed hackers. Hi shed hackers again. There's the design done on 2D design, which would be the software. You can use other software for cutting out in 2D, but 2D design seems to be one of the most versatile ones. And there's the original design. All really clever stuff actually. I quite enjoy that side of it. Moving on, we've done a little bit of research as always, so I hope you find this a little bit interesting. Oh, just before I move on, that's the piercing saw. And that's the coping saw. Yeah, very fine blade on the piercing saw. Coping saw, very common. 10 to 15 pounds, maybe 20 pounds. Possibly cheaper if you can get a cheaper one online. Anyway, moving on. So, really interesting I thought, and Jake and I have been looking at this. So, different types of moulding methods. You've got, you can do moulding in food actually. Chocolate's moulded in some sort of casting method, like jelly is moulded in some sort of cast jelly mould. Split cast, they make things in sand, and actually the old steam train wheels have been made in sand. Worth going online and having a look at that. Some videos on cast sanding, or sand casting they call it, and it's made in 2 parts. Okay, you get the cope and the drag, and the cope's the top part and the drag's the bottom. It's really clever and interesting stuff, and get amazing shapes from that. And you can get ones where you pour in the molten material and it melts away the wax inside and then leaves the new product. Okay, come back to you in a minute. I'm putting a taper in the top there so I can get to pour in the pewter much more easily. Okay. Come back to you in a minute, guys. How's it going, Jake?
It's going alright. It's starting to melt now, the big blobs.
Yeah.
And this is using the leftover from our last pour and the bit we spilt on the floor and on the vise.
Right, and we're going to be trying to do this, guys. The Shed Hacks handmade pewter casting. Okay, we're ready, guys. Had to put it at a slight angle. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, it did work.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay.
Wow. That is really surprising. I thought that wouldn't work.
No, I didn't have to take my gloves off now, but see if I can get this off.
Of course, you won't want to touch this because
No, just put my gloves back on.
even though it cools down quite quickly, it will still be quite hot.
There's a funny, look at that, shed hackers. There's a funny sort of, because the hot air inside there, it's affected the pour, but that's added to the image. And you can see it sort of says shed hacks.
Wow.
Okay, there we go. Let's come out.
Hey.
Look at that. Shed hacks. I'll cut that little piece off there. And now what we'll do now, guys, we're going to try this out.
Might as well.
The high-tech one. Okay, come back to you in a minute. Shed hacks. Oh, a bit more now. This is going to be the high-tech version. Using the laser cut mould cast. That's the right word. How's it going, Jake? Is that going alright?
Yeah, it's going quite well. You can see it's melting. And some of the really small bits melt extremely quickly.
Amazing, that's actually amazing.
Look, you can see on the other side of the spoon it's melting. And well, that's just the heat being transferred.
Can you name another liquid metal?
Gallium.
Yeah.
Well, technically all metals are liquid because you can all melt them. But gallium is one of those where you can put it in your hands, and if your hands are quite warm, then it will melt.
So normal atmospheric temperature and pressure, I can think of mercury. That's the one which is a natural liquid metal. Mercury. There's one to research, guys. And gallium melts at about 60 degrees, 40 degrees.
I don't actually know.
And to research, guys, gallium, really impressive material to study.
Mercury is also used in old thermometers.
Yeah, that's quite dangerous. Not good for the heavy metal. Very heavy metal.
I always wonder if they get it from the planet Mercury.
If you get that far. Oh, it's millions of miles away, Jake.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
Careful, careful, stand back.
I do only have one glove on, but that's because I wouldn't have been able to turn it off.
Yay!
Hey, look, it's working.
Well done, Jake. That's impressive. Plenty. Oh dear, it's a
I
bit,
think that's a bit full now.
bit on the floor there. I think, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're just doing the trimming, and you can see really how soft this is. You can just use a pair of wire cutters here, and it just cuts with a little bit of force. And this will actually be the noughts and crosses here.
Oh yeah, look at that. Whoa.
Like that. Be careful about it flying off.
It's all right.
But there we go.
Great, I love that.
And
what
then
about this one we've just
moving
made?
on to the one we just made. We've
We'll
got
try and
these little bits that we can just remelt, but let's try and separate it first.
careful you don't spike yourself with the screwdriver, guys. So be careful you don't actually... Oh, that's come out really
And
well.
look, you can see it's kind of burnt the wood a little,
Yeah.
but that's all right. So let's try and get this out
Ooh, looks a bit tricky.
somehow.
Use a small screwdriver maybe, Jake. Have to be careful, I think, guys, here. This is again, do this with an adult. If you turn it over, Jake, it might come out better on one side than the other. Yes, it will definitely come out from that side better, I think. This may break the mould. And I was saying that, breaking the mould, isn't it? I think Jake broke the mould when he came out. I won't say it to Mum, of course. See you later, shed hackers.
This is the finished product, and you can even stick a key ring on it, just like
that one.
one of these, if you want to. But in this case, we won't.
Oh, we damaged the casting mould.
Yeah, so you may need to remake that.
Bit of a disaster there, but you know, shed hackers. What a successful day, I think, there.
Yes.
And perhaps you could do that with some supervision with an adult. Get the equipment, get all the right safety equipment ready, and good luck with it all, guys. It's all good fun. You learn a lot.